Dear parishioners, I know it's been a while since I've posted anything here on this platform. There's been so much going on and so many moving parts. I'm just trying to stay ahead of it, one foot in front of the other. And that's why part of me, I can't wait until we get to the stage that I can be back with you after Mass, that I can be there answering questions that people have. And hopefully at that point, there's going to be less of a need for these videos. But there are a few points that I would like to go over with the whole parish, or at least as much of the parish as I can get through this way. First, the first point, no doubt you're going to hear or know about, the diocese sent out this week the option to some parishes that they believe that it has now become safe enough to put communion back where it belongs during the Mass, to distribute it at its rightful place. You know, and I want to just be clear that at the beginning, one of the points, there was a few points for why it was done the way it was done, but one of them was that we not wind up all congregating in the vestibule again after Mass, that people would be leaving at different points. They would come up, receive communion, say a Thanksgiving prayer, and then leave. That it wasn't Mass is ended and then the whole church is in the back, or should be, leaving Mass at the same time. So I got in touch with some of the neighboring pastors here, and there are going to be some parishes that are actually going to start it this week. There are some parishes that are holding off indefinitely, and there's at least two that are waiting until the beginning of October. I think that is the path that we are going to take. If you could bear with just a little bit more patience, a couple of more weeks, because I think that our families have had so many changes in their schedules over the last couple of weeks, between gyms and more in the restaurants, but certainly with school being open, that the prudent decision is that in case there winds up being this resurge that we're hearing may not happen, that if we just let's get over this first 2 weeks worth of hurdle, once all the kids have been in school and have been tested after it has begun, so that we're not trying to hunt down, or that if there does wind up being some type of resurge, that we're not hunting down trying to trace 57 different places you might have been. You're going to take one of them, one fewer. Just communion will be distributed. It's just we're going to follow the format that we've been following just for a couple of more weeks. At the beginning of October, once everybody's schedules, they've adapted to the new schedules, we will put this back where it belongs. So the bottom line is, I'm just asking for patience for a couple of more weeks. Second point that I want to make, I want to talk about the trees. I know, believe me, I know. I think that even based on that last discussion, we don't do things around here on a whim or as a knee-jerk reaction. I did not take down the trees based on a storm that we're not likely to see the likes of again for another 100 years. But that being said, not only was there property damage, but there was also the possibility of people being hurt. And that kind of cast a different light on it, huh? So with that discussion, and I know there were many trees that were sick or limbs that were, but not all of them were. Some, but not all. But we went after the ones, I had the ones taken down that would be the most likely to put people in a personal danger. So what we're going to do is they will be replaced with these green that we have on the north side of the church, the green that we have in between the church and the park. The type of trees that in storms they bend or turn, but nobody can be hurt. I believe that they're talking about arborvitaes. I don't know enough about the plants, but it's going to be something that we will get the coverage again, but I have never heard of those trees causing the type of damage that we could have faced here. The third point, the final point, is the finances. You know, this parish is incredible. Incredible. You know, at the beginning of this whole situation in March, I gave the finance committee, like a doomsday budget. I said, we will be able to survive even if we have no collections, even if the school, because they wouldn't be allowed to open, was not going to pay rent, even if we didn't have any fundraising, or the raffles or the things that we normally have. And so at that point, we took as many financial preparations for that scenario as we could. You wouldn't see it in the videos, but in those during March and April, those masses that it was just the priests in the church, it was cold. The thermostats were turned down in the church. The thermostats were turned down in the school. Obviously, the hardest step was the furloughing of some of our employees, partly because the reduced activity, like for example, religious ed, would have left their jobs with very little productivity. So they were furloughed, also knowing that there was going to be the government guarantees that they would not be harmed badly by the furlough. But because church people are church people, they continue, they were making phone calls to the families. Things continued to be done. But that was one of the financial moves that we made to try to make sure that the church stayed whole. But as it winds up, now, up to this date, and I can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. I honestly don't know what that'll be. But as it winds up to this date, the school rent was received. And the collections were just about maintained. If you look in the bulletins now, they're just about where they were with last year. Many parishes saw these slashed, as we did the first couple of months. But so many people have increased their offerings to make up for those who may not be able to make it. So we are seeing these comparisons to last year. Not every parish can say that, but we can. Because of all of these things, I'm humbled. And I can only say, on behalf of the parish and on behalf of those who can't contribute, thank you. Thank you. Another piece to the finances, as I wrote in the bulletin a couple of weeks ago, I hesitated on the summer appeal because I understand that many people are still nervous about their own personal financial future. I understand that. We have to be concerned for other people who've been furloughed or other people who are not working. But then, I did not press that. And then all these checks started coming in for the $92. That's usually the suggested amount for the summer appeal. And so, with that being said, that's why I never mentioned this is what we're going to use it for, because I did not expect to make the appeal. But so many people have been writing in that we put an envelope in for those who receive envelopes, we put it in with the last batch that went out. If you don't use envelopes and you just write on your check summer appeal, for those who can, again, this is not a pitch for it. I am once again humbled by the number of people who are giving without any prompting. And finally, out of the last of the the Catholic Ministries appeal, this may be the first year that we don't reach our goal. And I understand that there's a whole bunch of reasons that may go into that. It isn't that some of it is the financial fear. There might be other reasons involved in this. And this is why I didn't announce this is where the rebate will go. We may not receive a rebate this year, but I will tell you this. Me, personally, Father Holz, I believe in the CMA. And so I know that there are some parishes and some programs that rely on that money. some parishes that don't have the parishioners that we do. And so I will tell you, I sent in my usual because I do believe in them, and I want them to know that we are here believing in the other parishes, in the programs, in the seminarians, in the ladies at Regina House. We believe in that, and that's why my money went in. I am not going to give, this is where the rebate's going, because I don't know whether or not we will be receiving it. All of that being said, once again, what an incredible thing it is to be a member of this parish. The summary for the 3 points that I wanted to make today: the communion, as of the beginning of October, will be back where it belongs during Mass. The trees are going to be replaced by evergreen type trees. And then thirdly, the financial update. You will be seeing me probably later again this week. I didn't mention much on religious ed because, as it happened, there's so much that we have to talk about on religious ed that's going to get its own video sometime this week. So God bless each and every one of you. God bless us, because we are St. Raphael's. God bless.